Okay, so this is day one, arms and shoulders for November. Our first is our specialization set. We are going to work our biceps, our shoulders, and then our triceps. It is noted on the top black bar of each section how the cables need to be set up. So for this one, we have the black handles on R1 and L1 all the way at the bottom, and we are going to be utilizing the low cables, L2 and R2, and the silver handles stay on those. So we do need a band around the Smith bar as well for our triceps. So we're going to start with our biceps. We have 3 exercises. We're going to do the set 2 times through. The first exercise is our supinated 2-arm cable curl, and this time we're facing away from the rig. So your clients are going to grab the silver cables, elbows tucked in nice and tight, feet a little bit wider than our hips, nice tall back, exhale. As we pull the cables directly to our shoulder, we want to isolate those elbows. It's important that we pull straight. If we're off center from the pulley, the cable could come off of the pulley, but it slides back on pretty easily. Exhale as we lift both hands, that's 30 seconds. The second exercise is our cross-body cable curl that we are familiar with. So we're using L1 and R1. Except we're alternating. So because this is alternating, for today we're going to do 45 seconds. So tuck your elbows in, exhale as you bring that handle in hand up to the opposite shoulder, return it to the side of your hip. We want to make sure they're getting a full range of motion. Same stance, feet a little bit wider than your hips. Glute squeeze so your hips stay forward, tall back, shoulder blades down and back. And then the third exercise is, again, a supinated cable curl, but we're going to be facing the rig. So this time our hands are going to be more straight up and straight down, rather than the first time we were kind of pulling the cables out. So I'm going to turn my body around. The setup is the same, feet a little bit wider than our hips. Push your hips forward, squeeze your glutes, and keep your back nice and tall. You're going to grab L2 and R2, tuck your elbows, stand as close to the rig as you can. And you are going to exhale as you pull the cables from the front of your hips up to your shoulders and return back down. So you have those 3 exercises: supinated cable curl facing away from the rig for 30, cross-body cable curl alternating for 45, and then you're going to go back to the supinated cable curl for 30, and you're going to face the rig 2 times through. The second set of exercises is for our shoulders. So we have 3 of these as well. We're going to go through it 2 times. The first one is an alternating low cable curl front raise. So again, because it's alternating for today, we're going to do 45. So we're going to face the rig, stand tall, shoulder blades down and back. You might need to have your client step away from the rig because my hand sometimes scrapes the Smith bar, so if they just step back, they can go straight up and alternate. Exhale as you lift. You want to keep the shoulder blades back and down, and it's important to watch their form so that they aren't arching as they lift. If they are, obviously they're using their lower back and they need to lower their weight. So the alternating low cable front raise is the first exercise for 45. Then we're going to go to cross cable lateral raise. So we are going to use L1 and R1. We're going to grab the handles with our opposite hand. So our hands cross in the side. Our palms are going to face the outside so that we can lift, and then our palms are down. Return to center. Exhale as we lift. Return to center. Nice and controlled. Now you are going to want to pull your shoulder blades down and back, but I do have a slight hip hinge. You can stand straight up. It's more whatever is comfortable for your client. However, they do need to activate that core to ensure their back stays flat, their torso is nice and long. If they lean a little more forward, they're going to work a little bit of their back. The taller they stand, the more shoulder work it's going to be. Again, whatever is comfortable, as long as their form, their back, their spine, their core, everything is engaged. Because that one is both arms, we are going to go for 30 seconds. And then the third exercise is our band front to lateral raise. So we're going to grab our band. This one's 30 seconds. The band goes under the feet. We're familiar with this. We are gonna go front, down, lateral down, front, down, lateral down, and you're gonna continue that rotation for 30 seconds. And you're gonna do each of those exercises 2 times. So you have your front alternating raises for 45. You have your cable cross lateral raises for 30. And then we have our front raise to lateral raise with the band for 30. 2 times through, and that's going to bust out the shoulders. And then for triceps, we are going to take R1. So that is this side all the way to the top. We have a tricep press down. So I would have your client kind of stand inside the rig, feet a little bit wider than hips, hips forward, squeeze the glutes to keep their body nice and tall, shoulder blades down and back. Hand starts at our shoulder, and we're pressing straight down to our hip. Exhale. We're gonna do that 30 seconds, and then we're going to switch, and we're going to go 30 seconds on the other side. From there, we have our band overhead tricep extension. We're familiar with this. I believe we've done it before. We are going to be split stance, hinge forward a little bit so we can keep that back nice and flat. It's gonna make you activate your core. Elbows are in line with our shoulders directly in front. You can keep your palms together or forward. I find that if you keep your palms together, it keeps your elbows more isolated, which in turn isolates your triceps a little bit more. Exhale as you pull and press. Control on the way in. That one's 30 seconds. And then we're gonna do a banded tricep push down. So we're gonna do both arms. Now your taller clients might need to get half kneeling and then go from a press down here, or they might want to rack the band a couple times, because depending on how tall they are, it's going to affect their range of motion. Regardless, we're gonna be here, feet hip width apart, band starts at the handles are at our shoulders. Exhale as you press both arms down. Okay, so just kind of pay attention. Again, they can get into tall kneeling and press both arms. They can go fast tempo if they want. Maybe you can do that week 3 and 4 fast tempo to kind of burn them out at the end. So those are our 3 triceps. We have our 1-arm tricep press down. We have our overhead band tricep extension, and then we have our 2-arm band tricep press down for 30 seconds. So that's the specialization set. We hit our biceps, we hit our shoulders, and we hit our triceps. So now we're gonna go on to lower body. We just need to move this black handle back to the bottom. We are gonna keep both handles on. We have 4 exercises. The team did do this one already. Each of these is going to be 30 or 30 per side. So we are going to have our feet in line with the red lever. We're gonna rack both onto our shoulders, butt back, chest nice and tall. Squat, stand, squeeze your glutes. Exhale as you stand. Pretty familiar with the squat, 30 seconds there. Then we have a 2 cable racked kickstand squat. So this one's pretty cool. We are going to again rack both cables. We're gonna be in a split stance, but it's gonna be more narrow. So I'll stand sideways, and this is what it looks like as opposed to a wide split stance. So I'm gonna be narrow. That back foot is on the toe like a kickstand, and both cables are racked. I'm gonna drop them just so you can see it from the side. And we are just going to squat straight down and straight back up. Now, the angle of this knee is a little bit sketchy. That's okay, because I don't have a lot of weight on that knee. My working leg is the front leg, which my knee is still behind my toes. Squeeze your core, keep your chest up nice and tall, 30 seconds, and then you're going to switch legs. Same stance, working leg, straight down and straight back up for 30 seconds. Exhale as you stand, squeeze your glutes. Then we have a 1 cable rack split squat. We did that this month. Stand kind of close to your rig so you're going up and down. The handle that you're holding is the leg that's back, and we're gonna go for 30 seconds on this side, switch, rack your cable, and go 30 seconds on that side. And then the last one is our in-out squat jumps. So we've done this before. As we go out, we sink low, come in, out, in, out. Okay? Try and keep your chest up nice and tall. I don't care what they do with their hands. For me, it's easiest just to kind of touch the floor. If they are doing that, we want to make sure that they are squatting and not just bending to touch the floor, okay? So they can keep their hands up, behind them, I don't care. Goblet. So we have our 2 racked cable squat. We have our 2 racked kickstand squat each side. We have our 1 racked split stance squat. And then we have our in-out jump squats, 30 seconds each one, 30 seconds each side, and we're gonna do that round 2 times. We do have a challenge round. So, because of the length of each of the workouts, I'm going to give a suggestion on what to skip the first week. This is the round that I would skip if you're running a little behind on time. Week 1 always takes a little bit longer for explanation. So the lower body challenge, this is what I would skip on week 1 if you need to skip something. So there are 2 exercises. It is that 2 cable racked kickstand squat, 30 seconds, switch legs, 30 seconds, and then you have your 30 seconds in out hop squats, okay? And you have that for 2 rounds, no rest. So I think I probably built enough rest in just to switch the exercises, and you do that 2 rounds, 30 seconds each exercise for each side. Then we're gonna go back to our upper body. We do need to make an equipment change. So the rope is going to go on L1 at the bottom. So I know that I'm pretty picky when I talk to my clients about the right and the left, where to put the rope versus the handle. It's mainly at this point for social distancing so that somebody doesn't have the rope on the left side, other person has it on the right side, and they end up very close to each other. So again, looking at the rig, the left, we're gonna put the rope on the left side, and it's gonna go all the way to the bottom. So for this circuit, you'll notice on the paper, we're gonna use the rope, and we're gonna use the silver handles on R2 and L2. So we have 2 blocks of work, 2 exercises each. The first, sorry, I have at the bottom, but it needs to be at the top, so that's my fault. I'll fix the paper. I had to read it and see what was going on. So rope goes on L1 at the top. The first exercise is a standing face pull. We're all familiar with this. Split stance, elbows high and wide. Pull this black thing straight to the center of your forehead or your nose. That's 30 seconds. Then we have a seated low cable supinated row. So we're familiar with the low cable row, that's where we use the silver handles, but this is gonna be supinated. So our palms stay up the entire time as you exhale and pull towards you. It's essentially your seated row, no rotation, all right? Back nice and tall, hips stay directly underneath your shoulders. That's 30 seconds. You're gonna go back to your face pull for 30 and then back to your row for 30, so each one twice. Then you're going to move on to the second set. Push-ups, standard grip push-up, wide, narrow, somewhere in between, whatever is good. Then we have, that's for 30 seconds, then we have our plank walk-up. So this one is where we are in our elbow plank, squeeze your core, squeeze your glutes, drop to your elbow, and drop back up. Start with our right or left, and then start down and up with the opposite hand. That's 30 seconds. Back to the push-ups, and then back to the plank walk-up 2 times. And that is upper body 1. Then we have an upper body one challenge. They are gonna do the first exercise, which is the seated low cable row, supinated drop set. And they're gonna do this 3 times. 30 seconds they're gonna row, they're gonna drop their weight. 30 seconds they're gonna row, drop their weight, and then 30 more seconds they are going to row. Then they're going to switch. So this one is a plank to push-up combo. So what this looks like is they are going to either start in palm plank or on their elbows. So we're gonna come up, we're gonna push up, and then we're gonna go back down. Then we're gonna come up, we're gonna push up, and then we're gonna go back down. They're gonna do that for 30 seconds. They're gonna get a 15-second rest. They're gonna do it again, they're gonna rest, and they're gonna do it again. So that's 3 times. Again, if you need to buy a little time, do it once, do it twice. But by the end of the month, they should be doing the row 3 times and the plank push-up combo 3 times, okay? And then the last is an upper body finisher. So we've kind of combined some of the exercises. We are going to have the rope here, it's gonna stay here. Our first exercise is a high rope bicep curl. So I misspoke, we're not combining some of the exercises, we're just using some of the same muscles. Obviously, we're gonna start with our biceps. This is cool, it's new. Elbows are level with our shoulders, and we're pulling the rope overhead using those biceps. Obviously, I'm too close. I would wanna step back, tuck your shoulder blades down and back, shoulders away from your ears. Exhale as you pull that rope. 30 on, 15 off, twice. Then they are going to move to the band overhead press. So this is a little bit different, but it's gonna work our shoulders. Now, I'm gonna suggest that you tell them to go a little bit lighter because the band only stretches so much. So for ladies, I think I have purple and yellow, even though it's going to feel easy. Start with your palms up, exhale as you press. I can't go any further. It's probably not a bad idea, I just thought of this, to go tall kneeling from here to here. This is actually what I think I'm gonna change the paper to. So when you see this, we're gonna do tall kneeling because it leaves for a much better range of motion, specifically for the tall people. I'm 5'5", so I'm pretty average. I would absolutely not be able to use the red band. For resistance purposes, I probably should. So we're gonna go tall kneeling. Like I said, I'll update the paper. 30 on, 15 off, 30 on, 15 off, twice. And then the last one is our rope tricep pull down. We're all familiar with this. It's a great tricep burner. Our clients are familiar. Stand nice and close. We wanna pull straight down, separate that rope at the bottom, tuck those elbows, exhale as we pull. 30 on, 15 off, twice. That's the finisher. Then we have our core. So we are familiar with most of this core. The first one is our body saw. So we are going to get into our elbow plank position. Pretend I'm in elbow plank because I don't think you guys can see me. And we're just gonna rock forward on our toes, press back, rock forward, press back. Make sure our hips are even with our shoulders. I've seen a lot of this lately. I'm struggling to fix it. Clients don't want to drop to their knees. They don't want to pull their belly button to their spine. So just trying to do a couple exercises to strengthen the core rather than be fancy. That is 30 seconds. The second exercise, I'm calling it a swimmer. I don't know what else to call it. I'm gonna move my phone down here to the floor. But this is really good for their back. I'm noticing just looking at people's bodies, getting some tone in the lower back, and also strengthening that lower back is gonna go a long way for this class. So we're gonna lie on our belly, our arms are in front of us, our feet are out. We wanna try and lift those quads off the floor as best we can, and we're just going to flutter our legs and flutter our arms. Lift your chest. The clients can keep their quads, can keep their chest, and as the weeks progress, they can slowly get higher and higher. We're gonna go that for 30 seconds. And then the last one is our half kneeling cable chop. So this is a good one. The clients haven't done this before. The rope is already on, it stays at the top. Outside knee is going to be down, inside knee is going to be up. We are going to pull from our shoulder straight down to our hip, back up to our shoulder. We don't want any rotation. So we're using our core for anti-rotational purposes. Keep that rope as close to your body as you can, and exhale as you pull down, and you're gonna do 30 seconds each side, and you're gonna go through that core exercise twice. This workout is 41 minutes and 34 seconds. All 3 workouts are a little bit longer by a minute or 2 this month. So like I said, if you need to skip something, skip the lower body challenge. And anytime there's a drop set, maybe do it 2 times instead of 3 until your clients get the hang of everything and you can pick back up and do the whole workout. And that's it.